In May of 2017, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was pretty shocked. I try to be healthy. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I try to eat pretty healthy, at least so I thought I was eating healthy. And it was a big shock to me. I was very surprised. Didn't know what I was going to do. Actually, the doctor had set up an appointment to do a double mastectomy, and then he said he was going to follow that with chemo and radiation. And I was kind of numb. I went ahead and let him set the date because I thought I needed to trust my doctor. As soon as I was diagnosed, of course the surgery was scheduled. At that time, I had a weekly call that I did with people within my company, and I was told to talk about my breast cancer diagnosis, and I really didn't want to talk about my personal business on something like that, but I was convinced to do that, so I did. And over the course of 48 hours, I got over 500 texts, phone calls, emails, WhatsApp chat, comments telling me, do not take his opinion, get other second and third opinion, there is holistic, there are other alternative treatments. And so I thought, well, it's 500 to 1. So I thought I would take that chance, so I canceled the surgery, and I got on a plane a week later and flew out to Los Angeles, where I started doing alternative treatments in different clinics in different places. And I thought it was working, and I went from stage 1 to stage 2, and then I got myself back to stage 1, and I really thought that the things I was doing was going to totally heal me, but it didn't. I believe it was in June of 2019, I went for a routine ultrasound, and the radiologist said to me that it had gotten in my lymph nodes. And so I needed to do something very quickly. And through all this time, the whole 2-year period since getting diagnosed, I wanted to come up for cancer, but I didn't think I could afford it because I'd heard that it was expensive. Didn't do my research on that, I just believed what I heard. And so some very close friends that loved me and cared about me started a GoFundMe. And thanks to the people in my world, and also people that I didn't even know, generosity, I was able to come here. So I arrived in July the 29th of 2019. And in 21 days, my cancer was taken away, and I'm now NED. Well, when I first got ready to start packing for my trip to Mexico, I was a little apprehensive for more reasons than one. Number one, I'd never been to Mexico before. My Spanish is very limited to hello, goodbye, and have a nice day. And I didn't know what I was going to entail. I didn't know anybody in Cancun. I was all by myself. I had all these crazy illusions, not knowing what was going to be going on, and being in a clinic setting, which is not what I'd been in before. I'd been going to, little treatment facilities, nothing like a clinic with doctors and nurses. So I didn't know what to expect. I was concerned maybe the treatments would be very difficult to take. I thought I might get sick. I thought, here I'm going to be in my hotel room all alone. I had all these crazy thoughts going through my head. I also thought I was coming to a clinic where people just do their job. Based on hospitals I've been in and seen in the United States, they do their job, and you go in and you're a patient, and you're just one of many patients, and like being a number. And from the moment that I got out of the van and got a wonderful, beautiful hug from Gabby, she made me feel warm and welcome. And that was the very first moment on the property. And I thought, wow, this was nice. And then I walked through the doors of the clinic, and I got hugs from the staff there. And just as the day went on, I was totally blown away at what I experienced and what I saw. I saw love and compassion and warmth. I saw nurses that gave pain-free needles, and I do not like needles. And it was an amazing experience. And what's so interesting, being a part of the 8 Days series, they were filming for 8 days. And during those 8 days, I saw love and warmth and compassion from the staff. I saw an immaculate clinic. I mean, you could eat off the floors. I saw everything working. I saw everybody happy and positive and upbeat. So in my mind, I thought, this is great. I said, too bad they can't film the whole 3 weeks I'm going to be here, because I'm sure after filming's over, it's going to go back to normal, like most clinics, where you've got some dirt, you've got some nurses with frowny faces, you've got things that go wrong, you've got doctors that don't have time to have a consult with you. And so from the very first day after the filming started, I arrived and got that hug from Gabby, and got the hug from the people at the front door, and I was like, wow. And my doctor still had time to speak to me, no limit on the time, no looking at his watch to say our time is up. The clinic was still immaculate all the way through my 21st day there, and I thought to myself, wow, it's always like this here. And I told other people, other patients, I said, I'm amazed at how well run this place is, and they said, oh yeah, that's the way it is. And so it wasn't for the cameras, it was legitimately how it is. And when I came back 6 months later for my first follow-up, everything was the same. Hugs, loving people, caring people, doctors that took the time for you, nurses that cared about you. But in all, the staff loves their job. They love what they do. They love the patients. They feel connected. They feel our pain. And that was so impressive to me, because to see what they did for me and all the other patients, it blew my mind away. It touched my heart, and I will never forget the staff here. They're just amazing, absolutely amazing. In trying to think about what therapies that I got the most out of, I'd have to say the number one would be my therapy with Dr. Leslie. That was an amazing experience because I knew I loved sugar, I knew I loved to eat, but I didn't realize it was an addiction, and I didn't know how to get rid of the addiction. And thanks to Dr. Leslie and the BEST program, I learned what those addictions were and how to overcome them. And so I think that was massive for me to start my healing, because as we all know, or most people, or some people don't know, sugar feeds cancer. And I had a lot of it in my system because I lived on sugar. I lived on sugar products. I lived on sweets, and pastas, and breads, and all the things you're not supposed to eat. So I think that was my very first thing that was the most important, because I had not had that kind of effective therapy in my entire life. I'd seen therapists in the past for things, but never got what I got from my sessions with her. Also got acupuncture for the first time. I've been offered it for many years, and I always said no for my fear of needles. And she got me through that as well, and that was a great experience. So after that, I feel that the IVs, I got quite a few of them every single day, and I believe that had a lot to do with some of my healing. The coffee enemas, which I'd never experienced before, as much as I didn't want to do them, they were mandatory, and I started to feel, after like the fourth one, I started to feel a cleansing. Had a colonics done, had Indiba treatment, which is the, put on the breast, the heat, also the infrared lamp. The hyperbaric chamber I thought was amazing. I'd heard about them for years. I'd sent people to places to get them done, but I'd never done one myself, so I thoroughly enjoyed doing that every day. Had PEMF treatments with the lights and the vibration. That was really good. I have my own machine, so that I was very familiar with. The Vibra machine, which was very good, and never experienced that before. I ended up buying one after I left here the first time, so I could do that at home. The lymphatic massage was very good, got that every day. The diet, my diet was so different here, and Gustavo was a wonderful chef, and the first couple of days, the things he brought, I looked at it and I said, I'm not eating that, because it looked way too healthy for me. And he said, Senora, try, you like, and I tried it, and I liked every single thing he fixed. So that was a big thing for me. The smoothies and the drinks and the apple cider vinegar I took every morning, which I would have never done that before, but mandatory. I was like, okay, and now I do it every day now. So I find that just about everything they did, the infrared, I call it the tanning bed, but the infrared bed is the lights. I felt that was very effective. And the heat, the hypothermia bed, is something that totally terrified me, because I'd heard stories from other people about how they didn't like it, they almost passed out. And then I got in there and I was frustrated because I didn't get it up to the temperature I wanted every day, and so finally after the first week, I was able to get to the temperature that was considered good and progressing for me. One thing that I thought was really exciting while I was here, and what I found out happens on a regular basis, is Dr. Tony comes in and he did a seminar. And he had a wonderful slide presentation that explained all the 7 principles in detail. Because I read the book twice. It's an amazing book. I suggest that anybody alive get the book. You don't have to have cancer. You don't have to be sick. If you're alive, you need to get this book, because of the fact it talks about all the principles, not just to beat cancer, not to treat it, but to be healthy, to be healthier. And so this is an amazing book. But it was great to see the slideshow, the slide presentation, because it explained all the therapies and then explained why they are there, what they do, so that when they were done to me, I had a good understanding. And then they've got the cameras and the TV screens above where they have continual movies playing and videos showing the different treatments and what they're for. And I thought that was really great, because people sitting here, when you're sitting in an IV for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, it's good to be watching this, because at least you know and you get an understanding of what's being done to your body. And it's great that we're just so educated. And I know I asked questions my first couple of days about everything. It's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? What's that? What's that? And they were just so informative and so patient. And one time one of the nurses said to me, let me hook you up, because it was like a 30-minute treatment, and then I'll explain to you everything about it. So, because the time was of the essence to get me through, because they try to get you through all the therapies in one day. And I know I went through 7 per day, and that's a lot to get through. And so, she started the procedure, and then she explained it all to me, and I was like, okay, I understand this now. So it was great, the education that's done from the moment you walk through the doors. As soon as they start treatment on you, they start educating you. And that's so important, because back in the States, you just kind of like a number, and you just lay there and these things are done to you, and you have no clue why or how. And then when you ask questions, you get reprimanded for asking the questions. So it's nice not to have that type of environment and atmosphere here. So I think if anybody would ask me, was there any negative to my being at Hope4Cancer or anything that I didn't like, the one and only thing I could say that I didn't like was the fact that everyone around me had come as a last resort. They weren't there as a first resort. They were there because they were stage 3 and stage 4. I was the only stage 1 patient at the whole clinic, actually both times, my first visit and my second. And I think that's a travesty, because I don't think people should wait until they're told nothing can be done, or we've done all we can do, or it's best you get your affairs in order, or they go into hospice for when they reach out. Because at that point, many times it's too late. Now, they perform lots of miracles here, but sometimes you can't perform a miracle because the person's come so late and there's not anything that can be done for them. And that's why I feel that more people should be more proactive. And I truly feel with every fiber of my being that if I'd come here the week that I'd gotten diagnosed, I would have been healed, I would have been cured, and I would have saved a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of time for my family, traveling, a lot of time away from work. My whole life would have been different. So they say better late than never, but the point is, I've really met a lot of people that have waited to the end, and I don't think they should. I think they should reach out as soon as they get diagnosed. I've had people say to me, oh, well, why did you go at stage 1? Shouldn't you have waited? Why wait? Why go through that? Why go through that trauma? Why have your family members and loved ones go through the pain of watching you deteriorate and then go for a solve? You should check this place out, because this is an amazing place to be. The philosophies, the protocols, the treatments, the staff, everything is right here in this one place, and it can totally change your life. And whether you're cured totally or cured 80% or 50%, whatever the cure is for you, you will leave here a better person. You will leave here with a better frame of mind, more spirituality, a healthier, cleaner, detoxed body, and your life will never be the same.